to developments in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, Sergeant Batho Mogola maintains accused number 1, Muzi Sibiya, was not assaulted during her presence. Sibiya claims his arrest was unlawful and denied that he was found with ammunition when he was arrested. He was arrested in Tembisa in May of 2020 and allegedly made a confession regarding the murder of the soccer star. We take a look at the testimony as well as cross-examination of Sergeant Mogola with Elton Hart from the University of Johannesburg's Law Clinic. Elton, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Perhaps let's revisit the moment when accused number 1 claims that he was assaulted to a point where his dignity was violated. Let's revisit that moment.
Did accused number 1 ever mention that I want to change this trouser because it's dirty?
My lord, all I can say is that as we were walking to his place of residence, my lord, he was complaining to say, why because he and then, my lord, when we got there inside the shack, my lord, when we were done with everything, my lord, he also added, my lord, to say, can I change this trouser because it is expensive, my lord, and above way to the Pagati.
So according to him, he says he messed himself up. That's the reason why he had to change the trousers. And number 2, you took the trouser. Even today, the trouser was taken by the police. It has never been brought back.
Elton Hart, how does the court determine, because this witness has said that neither accused number 1 nor accused number 2, at least to her knowledge, were assaulted. Now, with this piece of evidence that has been led by the defense, this Brentwood trouser, who does it help?
I think it helps the accused person in this regard, because the accused from the get-go, if we can jog back down memory lane, when Mogani was questioned about this, Mogani them, and I think it was Jansen them, at some stage they denied that this guy actually asked that his trouser be changed because he has messed himself, and now she's now already saying that yes. So now it becomes not a question about, first we look at the credibility of these witnesses, who's telling the truth. Now already we have like 2 mutually destructive versions from the state's witnesses already, that the one is testifying this and Mogani is saying something different. So they are contradicting each other already. And now we also need to look at the reliability of these witnesses in connection with what they are testifying, so that one can look at, is there a consistent pattern between what these witnesses are saying. And we can all say that Jansen, Butalezi, Mogano, all of them first testified that they never stopped at certain parts along the way when they took the guy from, I think, Vosloorus to Morocco police station site. But when the AVL logs came out, it indicated there were certain stops by the vehicle. And it also came out that on a certain day, I think 22 June, they were not even using the vehicle whose AVL logs is there. So that now already speaks to 2 things: credibility, reliability, and these witnesses for the state is doing a very good job to actually contradict each other. And I think Ngomezulu is now pointing out, and I could see Advocate Beloy is trying to interject every time when it seems like he sees that Ngomezulu is like sort of half cornering these witnesses, then and he also sort of half selectively chose which evidence to bring to this court to help the court to come to a just verdict, and that is not what the prosecutor is supposed to be doing. He should give the court all the evidence to make a just verdict.
You speak of the reliability of the witnesses. In fact, just after midday, Advocate Ngomezulu put it to the witness, Sergeant Mogola, that none of the witnesses that have come in the trial, within the trial, are actually reliable witnesses. And he went as far as saying directly to Sergeant Mogola that you are not a credible witness. How then does the court come to a determination that this particular witness that is on the stand this week is not a reliable witness?
Okay, first the court will have to look at if the witness, the evidence that the witness is giving you look at consistencies between her evidence and the previous guy's evidence, the previous state witnesses that testified. You look at the consistencies and you look at the accuracies. That's how the court will determine if she's reliable. So if her evidence is consistent with the other guys and if it's accurate. Now the accuracy, you will most probably look at accuracy compared to the AVL logs. Because I could hear yesterday already when she was testifying, she said no, but there was no engine garage, and there was a dispute, and then she said Advocate Ngomezulu was trying to confuse her, and later on she admitted that there was an engine garage below the bridge and there was a BP, and he was just asking questions, and he's not supposed to make it easy, because if you're telling the truth and your evidence is accurate and you're not adapting it, you should be remembering what is along the road and what you know from the road. And if you don't know something, you say, I don't know, I can't recall. And that is where Advocate Ngomezulu is working at, and that is where we test the reliability to see if a witness can be trusted, that they're actually giving consistent evidence from what has already been testified, and that it's accurate compared to other evidence. And in this case, we look at the AVL logs to see if she says, we never stopped at Baragwana Hospital, but the AVL log says, we did, the car that you were in did stop at Baragwana for 15 minutes, which means your evidence is not accurate. So then it means that you are not a reliable witness, because you're saying we never stopped there, but there's proof you spent 15 minutes there, and that's how they will now have to interrogate the AVL logs compared to what these witnesses for the state are saying. And I can see already what they say. They easily come out and say the witness is the accused is lying, and that's where they stop, and then they want to, Baloyi is objecting when Advocate Ngomezulu is trying to engage the witnesses further. They say, but the witness already answered the question, but here that he's lying. So then if the accused person comes in the box and the accused person is also just saying, but all of them is lying, will the court accept that? So I think there should be more engagement around that. When a person says it's lying, say no, it's not that. On this day, we only stopped at maybe BP garage, we never stopped at engine garage, so that we know where they agree with what is on record and the evidence that was led, and if it's accurate.
It was quite an interesting moment there, because the witness was asked beforehand, do you know the Katlehong area well? And she confidently said yes. And once she was questioned, how do you get from the N12 to the N3? Which off-ramp do you take? Then it went south from there. But accused number one allegedly made a request. Let's revisit this moment.
At some stage in Tembisa court, accused number one indicated that to the presiding officer, he requested that he should be detained in prison because he was assaulted when he is kept at the police stations. Can you dispute that?
That's correct, my lord. And can we also check the date on the charge sheet? When was that? And what was specifically, my lord, recorded?
Do you want to go through it?
No, my lord, I'm just saying.
Go to Exhibit 00, then you can check the records. The appearance on the 30th of June 2020, or maybe an appearance after the 7th of July. Sorry, they said the 10th of July.
Hello? Is busy. I see she's not around. Yeah, fine.
So will you be able to read the records?
My lord, I can only see the accused assaulted by SAPS Silverton.
Is that all?
My lord, I can see that he's requesting to be detained at correction services.
Thank you. May I proceed to accused number 2?
Elton Hart, that goes that record that she is reading to talk about an assault that accused number one allegedly put on record or reported. How helpful was that piece of evidence, and to whom?
It's helpful to the defense to prove that why would there be something on record where he actually indicate to a judge or a magistrate who ever saw him that put it on the charge sheet that I want to be detained at the correction, because he won't. And I mean, he wouldn't have known that there would have been a trial pertaining to those confessions back then when he told the magistrate or judge already that I'm being assaulted, can I be removed from the police station to the correctional facility. So that means I would find that the defense team is now, with that piece of evidence, it's helping them to prove that an assault took place on accused 1, but it can also now sort of half corroborate what accused 2 is saying, to say that these police officers, in order to extract information out of these guys, they actually assaulted them. And now it speaks to the credibility, because if you look at all the witnesses that testified on the state, they gave like what one would say bare skeleton evidence. It's like they were just sticking to the basics. They did not go into the nitty-gritties. What were they doing at that stop, what they were doing, and they were denying all the other stops that was taken, and the AVL came and actually contradicted that. So for me, the credibility of that witnesses is already in dispute, and now one has to look at, is these witnesses consistent with each other? And the only consistencies I can see is like the consistent pattern that actually favors them, that they are consistent with. But when one looks at, is it accurate? I dispute that what they actually telling the court or told the court is accurate, because the AVL logs again gives it. And now the lady that's currently on the stand that's testifying, Mogale, she's now saying that she can see from the charge sheet there was assault. So it means that something untoward happened to these accused, where information was extracted from them, and they didn't do it absolutely free and voluntarily. And under those circumstances, I think the court should just come and cut this trial within a trial short and say, for me, there's indicators that prove that something untoward happened, and I won't allow that confessions to stand and the pointing out to stand. Let's just deal with the witnesses in the main case, and let's get the game or the show on the road.
On that, right, just out of curiosity, when does court go on recess to try and also determine, if at all, how long this trial within a trial will likely go on for?
I think next week we'll still be busy with this trial within the trial, and the court will go on recess like 14 December. 14 December the court will close for recess, because between that period, between 15 December and 16 January, it's dies non, so there's no court sitting. So if by 14, and I'm sure if we get done and they give a ruling on the admissibility of these confessions, I don't think we'll get further. The defense would not even have started their case. So I think the defense might start with their case somewhere in late February, even next year, March, where they're now going to present their version. If we get to a point where the court says there's a prima facie case to which the accused should be answering to.
Elton Hart, thank you very much for helping us make sense of today's developments. Elton Hart is with the University of Johannesburg's Law Clinic.